broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey everybody, and welcome to AfterBuzz TV. This is the after show for Red Band Society. This is episode 4, I believe. Home Sweet Homecoming.
There's no place like homecoming.
Oh, there's no place like homecoming. Sorry about that, everyone. I'm your host, Heather Joy Smith, and with me tonight is...
Hey guys, I'm Michelle Fee.
And I'm Heather Cruz.
So I'm just going to throw it out here. I think this was probably the best episode that we've had yet on this show.
I second that.
I third that.
Yeah.
We're all in agreement.
And I also want to say, I think it was probably the most emotional episode that we've seen yet.
Definitely.
I may have like teared up a little rims here. It was really, really emotional.
I did too. I definitely tweeted, like when it happened, I was like, I think this is the first episode where I cried. Like, seriously, it was so emotional. I couldn't believe she did that.
And every character kind of had their own emotional moment.
Yeah.
They really did. And I like how each week we get to see like little storylines of each character. Like there's an overall story that's going on, but each character has their little story and things that are going on in their lives, and then they all kind of come together and intertwine, and it's fun.
It's good.
I mean, it's good.
It's great.
Yeah. So tonight they went to homecoming. At least a few of them did. Tonight was Ciara's homecoming, and you know, I don't know. It was interesting for me. I don't even know how to say this, because she is supposed to be this popular girl, but it seemed like she was popular because she was so mean to everybody.
People feared her.
They feared her. That's the word I'm looking for. Feared her.
And it was really kind of funny when she got there and there was none of that fear, because really everybody just felt sorry for her and her condition, and she just did not appreciate that at all. She would much rather be the fearless, like in charge person, everybody bow down to me, than actually have people like her, which is really interesting for her character.
Very.
It is.
Yeah. So, let's go back a little bit. I mean, we'll talk about homecoming a little bit, but let's go back, because also it kind of started with this homecoming theme when Ciara went up to Nurse Jackson and was like, please, 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 let me go, doing this whole like little sob story, pretending to cry, whatever. And Nurse Jackson was like, okay. Like, this isn't a prison.
Yeah.
I love her still. Can I just throw that out there? I still just love her so much.
Yeah.
We all love her.
I love her. But I'm like, oh, she's right. This isn't a prison. They can leave if they want.
Yeah, like you forget that because you're just like in there all the time, that you're just so used to your surroundings. You think you can't leave because you don't leave. Like the only thing you do leave is your bed, and you just walk around.
Yeah.
So I get that she thinks it's a prison, but it's not. Like,
but we will have to say she had to go with a nurse chaperone.
True.
Which
and
was
don't
funny.
you love that Brittany was like, me.
Oh, wait, we have to stop and talk about Brittany for a second. Did we not call this The Boyfriend is Gone?
The boyfriend is gone.
you did. I remember you called it last week.
I knew it, and let me just foreshadow a bit. Those two are going to get together.
Oh, yeah.
Mick Andrews and Brittany. It's going to happen. Just a matter of when.
Oh, God.
Okay, moving on.
Before we move on, though, I'd like to talk about how nice Dr. McAndrews looked this evening.
Those glasses totally did it for me.
And the little sweater vest and the
You
tie.
need to wear that more often.
I mean,
Seriously, get out of the scrubs.
Can he please wear this every episode?
Yes. Please, writers. Oh, and stylists. Like, you're doing it here.
And the
You have to
salt
wear
and
that
pepper,
every week.
it's doing it for me.
It was doing it tonight. It really was. Brittany's a smart girl.
Yes, she is.
Now, another thing that they talked about tonight, that it was briefly mentioned, but was kind of shocking to us watching it all together, was this has only been 5 days.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of was expecting it to be
Well, it's been 4 weeks now for us.
4 weeks for us, so I thought it was 4 weeks for them too. I guess you forget.
So much drama happens in 5 days in children's hospitals, I guess.
Right.
I mean,
and you can't tell when is day and night.
Right.
No, but I feel like way too much has happened for 5 days. I just can't get over this 5 days, you guys.
Yeah, that was a little shocking for me. I think we all at the same time, what? 5 days?
5 days?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know.
That's a lot of drama for 5 days, actually.
Yeah.
Like surgery and then recovery and then
chemo.
Like,
I mean,
how did all that happen in 5 days?
He comes, the next day he has surgery, next day he recovers, next day he has chemo, then he's at the movie theater.
I mean, not to get technical here, but I feel like it would take a couple weeks to just process the paperwork. So, like,
no, this is a life or death situation. They rushed it through, okay? They had to get it done in 5 days.
You're right.
I love
TV
that.
world.
It would have taken a few weeks to get the paperwork done, but has cancer.
I'm just saying.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So, speaking of Jordy, we found out tonight that he has Ewing sarcoma, I guess is the official term for what he has.
Diagnosis, yeah.
Yeah. And we got to see his mom more tonight, and I mean,
I'm shaking my head.
You're already getting to it. I mean, I don't know. Okay, so at the beginning of the episode, I'm thinking, okay, she's sweet. She's bringing him popsicles, doing all the mom things.
She was studying.
She was studying up on the disease. Right. You know, Nurse Jackson gave her a ton of books, kind of being a brat about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I thought that she was really trying to make an effort at the beginning of the episode. So I was shocked when she was leaving.
Yeah.
That, to me, that hit me right here. Not to get all cheesy, but right here. Oh, I feel for this guy. Poor guy.
And especially after she gives her son $50 to go to the movie theater with Dash, says, get yourself Slurpees, popcorn, whatever. He faints. They bring him back because obviously the chemo is kicked in. He can't be out. And then she leaves.
I think she
Who does that?
I feel like she might have just realized, like, she was really in over her head. She's like, oh, here's $50. I'm a good mom. I'm letting you have a good time. But that's not what he needs. He needs care right now. And I feel like she realized she was way in over her head. And that scene where he's looking down from his room and McAndrews is running after her. I'm going to cry right now.
I mean, awful. I feel for him. And like you said, she probably did feel like she was over, over her head. But if she feels that way, think of what your son feels like.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the one who's going through the chemo now. He just had surgery. He's got more surgeries coming up. And you're just going to ditch your son when the time in his life he needs you the most.
Yeah.
But I think they ended it on a really good note because Nurse Jackson and McAndrews are having this conversation. Like, he's, an emancipated minor now, and they're like, well, he's ours now. Like, we're adopting him. We're taking him in. He's our family now. So, honestly, he's in much better hands with Nurse Jackson and McAndrews than that sorry, worthless excuse for a mother.
Yeah.
Right.
Really.
Well, I kind of have a feeling that she might be back.
I hope not, because I can't take her. I am done with Eva, whatever. Whatever. I'm done.
It was sweet, though, when Nurse Jackson and McAndrews were talking at the end when they did say, well, he's ours now. And it's like, no, he was ours day one.
Right.
Like, the day he walked in here. I mean, that just shows the kind of people that they really are.
And there was an interesting conversation earlier in the episode with McAndrews and Nurse Jackson, and I feel like every week we get like the little snippet of her life, and she said something every week that makes us just wonder about her background. But she was like, people like that don't understand how hard it is for other people to have children, and you can't be a mother all the time. Some stuff happened to her. She's got a history. She's got a past, and I can't wait to figure out what it is.
And there was a few different instances during this episode where the fact that she was not a mother came up. And it almost kind of made me feel like she really wanted to be a mother.
Yep.
But for reasons beyond her control, she was not able to.
But I think it's great that she's adopted these kids, though. She wants what's best for them, and she's tough on them because she loves them, and they are her kids, the kids that she never had.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So before we go on, we want to make sure that everybody out there goes onto iTunes and rates us 5 stars. And make sure to comment and say great things about us if you'd like.
Or horrible things if we're doing horrible.
Or horrible.
Just kidding, don't do that.
No, don't do that. But if you have questions, comments, predictions, anything like that, make sure to comment on iTunes or on YouTube, and we will try to get back to them as soon as we can.
I responded.
Yes.
I did.
Good.
Very nice.
So let's move on here real quick to Leo.
A lot happened for him this episode.
This was a big episode for Leo.
A breakthrough, I feel like.
Yeah, you're right. It really was a breakthrough. And, you know, it started out with him playing soccer in the hallways and falling and tripping over the IV machines and whatnot. And, you know, I think his reaction was Nurse Jackson was going to yell at him because that just seems plausible. I mean, that's what she always does. But then she kind of came over and was like, you know, you can do this one step at a time. You know, and now that we know 5 days ago, he didn't have this leg. So it's only been 5 days, Leo. You can do it.
Yes. Well, I mean, the opening scene was him opening an email from Stanford University.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes.
They wanted him to have a scholarship, and he's, he mentioned that they don't know that he doesn't have a leg anymore. So he really wants to train hard to be like that other athlete, to break through the cancer walls and still be a professional and college soccer player. So he's really trying his hardest to get that done, and Nurse Jackson's helping him out. Looks like it's going to happen, which is great.
Yeah. And I thought this was a good way that we could kind of see a glimpse into Leo's prior life.
Yeah.
As kind of like the jock, kind of seemed like the popular kid, you know. At the homecoming, he ran up to a friend, or I don't even know if it was a friend,
I
but
think it was a rival.
It was, that's to say, a rival of another soccer team. Didn't quite have so many kind words, or there was awkward words.
It was so awkward.
I feel like he, at the end of the conversation, Leo realized that like people pitied him. Like no matter how good he was before, even if he got to that point again, it'd be like, oh, look how far you've come.
Yes.
Instead of this was your talent to begin with. I think he had that realization that he would never be just a great soccer player. He'd be the great soccer player who beat cancer.
Yes.
And he didn't want to be pitied like that. I don't blame him though.
No, I don't blame him.
Which totally makes sense to see why he sided with Ciara, especially during homecoming and what we're going to talk about later.
Yeah, yes. We'll get to Ciara. So, actually, we will go ahead and talk about Ciara.
Let's just go ahead and do it.
Let's just go ahead and do it. So, Ciara's homecoming was tonight, and Emma and Brittany went along for the ride. And I thought it was really sweet that when they showed up, well, it wasn't sweet that Ciara ditched Emma first off,
right?
But it was sweet that Leo then shows up in his nice little suit. It was so
I
cute.
wasn't expecting him to be there.
No, me either. That was a shock for me.
I mean, he right before they left, though, like he kind of just looked at them, and I was like, oh, like maybe he's just looking to see like how beautiful they are, but no, like he actually
that was
went.
a surprise, and I was like, major style points, dude.
Totally.
Yeah,
same.
Yeah, I love that he showed up there and, you know, kind of was there for Emma because she didn't have anybody. Ciara ditched her.
But the tables turned.
It quickly did. So let's talk about these 3 girls that Emma met at homecoming.
Oh, goodness.
And 2 girls. And they are bad news for her. I mean, really bad news.
They were like glamorizing her
disease.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not something that you should look up to.
No, like I wrote down, the girls tell her that she's like a unicorn. She's so skinny and they've never seen a 000. Like, what?
It was just really, it was shocking, and it was really sad too, because in the beginning, like, she comes down with like her lunch, and she takes 1 chip and writes down the calories for 1
calories.
chip, and then tosses the rest. Like, that is really sad.
That's
like,
really sad.
Really, really sad. So.
Yeah, and these girls are just, like you said, glamorizing the fact that she's so skinny, not realizing, you know, that she's got a horrible eating disorder. She's in a hospital.
They thought that was so cool. They're like, oh, you're so committed to being skinny.
Right.
Which is not the case at all.
Not the case. Those girls.
Well, they took her outside to smoke with her. And
and then she comes back in and lies about that, which at first I was like, okay, maybe she wasn't smoking, but then we see her with the cigarette later in the episode. It's like, really?
And I feel like these girls are going to come back because at the end, like, she was texting with them.
Yes.
So they're going to come back and they're going to kind of, you know, prolong her disease here.
Yeah.
She didn't even take one chip after that.
No.
She didn't.
Yeah, you're right. When she came back and was eating the next day, just
Push the whole
pushed the whole thing away. I don't know.
Should we talk about the confrontation with Leo and Emma?
Yes.
Like, that was shocking, and I was waiting for that moment because, you know, we had talked about this before, how
were anticipating
in some way, like, Emma is choosing not to eat. Like, that she's not, I mean, I understand it's a disease. Like, the eating disorder is a psychological disease that you have. But to these other kids, like, who completely had no choice to have their leg chopped off or their heart failure or be in a coma, like, to those kids, it can kind of seem like a choice. And Leo threw it in her face.
Yeah.
It was rough.
It was. But it didn't seem like she
cared.
I mean, like, she took it kind of hardly because they were harsh words that he threw at her. But at the same time, she was just like,
I felt like, too, she was kind of like, well, I'm the popular one because I'm skinny. Like, these girls like me because I'm skinny, so I'm gonna...
You're right. I bet she does feel for the first time in her life
That she's-
popular because these girls were trying to be friendly with her and thought she was, like, so
really
cool.
Not cool.
No. So... we'll see what happens with them, but I wrote down they are bad news for her.
Yes.
And I have a feeling they're going to return, so
I don't
see.
know that Leo and Emma will recover from that either because, well, we forgot to mention the kiss.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I'm not sure that they'll recover from anything that happened this week.
Yeah, there was a lot that went on. So speaking of the kiss, this kiss happened at homecoming.
Which I thought was a really sweet moment, actually.
I mean...
I thought that him getting up there, I mean, granted, like, the way that she treats people is horrible. But
Right.
for him to, like, I don't even want to call it stand up because he said horrible things.
Horrible things.
But she loved it. It was for her. She's twisted in her brain.
She is.
But honestly, like, it was for her. And I thought it was a really sweet moment for him to come, like, rescue her because she was just not having it. Even though, like, to the onlooker, they're like, oh my gosh, like, who is this guy or whatever. But they knew what was up.
Oh, yeah.
okay, yeah, no, I agree. Okay, like,
It was weird, but...
It was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. I agree that him going up there, standing up for her, was a really.
I know.
Like,
It's not even standing up. It's weird.
it's like a backhanded compliment.
That's what it's a backhanded compliment.
So, I mean, I thought that was sweet, but when she kissed him, I was just like, taken aback by that? Like,
Yeah.
what is going on here? Like, she's just...
I think it was kind of just her way of being like, F this, I'm done with this, because at the end, she's like, I'm never going back there. Like, she is putting the past behind her. She released her minion. She has nothing to do with those people who pity her. Like, I feel like it was just like, whatever, I'm not popular, I'm not wanted here anymore, this is not what I want, I'm just gonna do whatever I want and kiss this weird bald guy.
Can we talk about this little video, though, that all her friends put together?
my God.
I mean,
like,
it's a
was she
little
dead
too soon.
Right.
Too soon, people.
I love it.
Well, I thought it would be an eye-opener for her that she may not live because of her heart
You're
condition.
right.
But it wasn't.
It wasn't.
She was, like, so angry that it happened. She's like, how dare you?
I
Yeah.
just love the video. She really liked old people.
Everybody liked her.
It's kinda.
So weird. And I don't know if you guys know this, but as she's going up to accept the crown award or whatever it was, they had that in the background, like they were going to play it for the entire school. Like, how awkward is that?
Yeah, like,
I
I'm still here.
can totally like understand where she's coming from. I mean, like I said, she's twisted. Her brain is
Yeah.
really messed up. But like again, like nobody wants to be pitied.
No.
No. So I like that Leo went up there and stood up for her. I love that she kissed him. I just love that whole scene, except that it drew the biggest wedge between Leo and Emma. And like I said, I don't know if they're going to recover.
You're right. I don't think they are. I mean, that's going to be a tough one for them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Emma kind of put that wedge in there already.
Yeah.
Last week when she was like, so friends?
Yeah.
Friends?
She kind of plays it, you know, like, I think she's playing both sides of it to get her way, kind of advantage, upper hand on both of them. But really, I wonder if she actually really likes either of them.
Well, they had a conversation with Dash
Yes,
and Emma,
Dash.
and she was like, I don't like either of them, which is really strange because at the end of last episode,
yeah.
she was like, give me Rice Krispie treats. They were hanging out in this room, and
She
I
just
was
can't make up her mind. Is that what the problem is?
I think she just enjoyed the attention.
Yeah,
because
maybe.
she
From both
did,
of them.
Yeah, she did enjoy the attention from the two girls at the school.
She just wants
So
attention.
I think that's just what it is.
Well, I liked Emma, but my opinion on her is kind of shifting.
Oh, let's hear it.
I really like Emma too.
I liked her, but now she's just kind of being mean. Like, I don't like either of them. I'm going to hang out with these girls. I'm going to choose not to try to get better. And at least Ciara is finally, like, realizing that her life was meaningless, like, in high school.
So you're going to side with Ciara over Emma?
I'm kind of shifting that way. Because at least Ciara's making progress. She released her little slave.
Her little minion was sad, though.
Yeah, but she said that she can come back as a friend.
That's true.
So maybe
she's like, you do you. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, she's like leaving that life behind her. And then Leo, you know, he's wanting to leave his old life behind too. But Emma is like grounded in her current situation. And I still like it.
Yeah. We'll see. I still like Emma.
I like her.
I still like
Emma. I love her sense of style.
Well,
I will
who
say
can
that.
deny that?
I mean,
those pearls.
that's, yeah.
Yes.
Classic Audrey there.
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay. Let's talk about the home situation tonight, because as we know, home was kind of like a big theme in this whole episode and everything. And we got to see once again flashbacks from Jordy's past when his mom put him on the bus to go to his new home in Mexico. I mean, that was a heartbreaker scene watching that. And, you know, there was just other things, you know, throughout the episode that kind of went back to, like you said, home, their past, leaving where they were, moving forward. So it was interesting how all this kind of went together this episode.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like it comes back to, like, especially at the end of the episode when McAndrews and Nurse Jackson were talking about Jordy, like, for the time being, the hospital is their home, and they have a family there. No matter what happens to their family on the outside, you know, Ciara lost all her friends, she lost her status, Jordy lost his mom. We haven't heard anything about any other parents, but still, like, that's their safe place, like figuratively and literally. It's their safe place. It's their home, and I really think they really honed in on that tonight.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. All right, let's get into some predictions.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Ooh. Okay, so in the previews for next week.
Oh, I can't wait.
The funny thing is, everybody, before this episode even started tonight, we were like, we really need to know what happened to Charlie.
Yeah. He's been kind of not around.
He hasn't been a main storyline like he was previously. So we get to see in this next episode a little bit of a car crash scene, it kind of looks like. So, you know, for all of those wondering what happened to Charlie, what happened, why does his dad feel this kind of like, you know, like he was the one who did this. Looks like we're going to get some answers next week.
Major flashbacks.
Major.
For sure. I can't wait. The drama was like way too suspenseful.
Yeah, like we had to sit there to watch it before we
Yeah. So Heather, what are your thoughts on next week?
Oh, I really can't wait, because I said like halfway through, I'm like, I want to know about Charlie. Like I'm curious about this, because he's been narrating the whole time, and we got like little glimpses of him in the first episode. So I'm like really, really curious. But I'm also curious about Dash. They haven't gotten really any deep in Dash. He's just kind of like the floating character. Kind of goes like group to group to group. We've kind of got a little piece of everybody except him. So I'm glad we're getting on to Charlie, but I really want to know about Dash too, and Nurse Jackson.
Yes.
And I'm predicting McAndrews and Brittany.
Okay. Love it.
I don't know when, but it's going to happen.
All right, Michelle.
All right, so I predict that, judging off of the previews for next week, someone is outing Charlie's dad.
Oh.
Because Ciara knows.
Yeah, Ciara knows. I wonder if, you know, Ciara, like something happened and she's like blackmailing him, not realizing what big like issue
that could
it's going to
huge.
be. Yeah. So there's that. Let's see. Hopefully to see more of Nurse Jackson's background. I want to say she maybe was married in the past.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Try to have a family and stuff.
I'd like to hear more of why she never had kids. You know, was it her choice? Was she not able to have kids? Did she just never get married? Like, what is it? Because I think, you know, her not having the kids was very apparent in this episode. And the fact that she works in a pediatric hospital, clearly she loves kids. So what happened? Who knows?
Right.
I think that'd be interesting.
We'll get to it, I feel like.
We'll get to it, yeah.
We'll definitely get there.
I definitely want to see Brittany and McAndrews together. That's going to be pretty good when it happens.
I'm going to have to warm up to
It's going to happen. Did you not see the little, like, eye thing going on?
Yeah.
Like, it's going to happen.
And then her saying, I don't have a boyfriend anymore. I mean,
it's so apparent.
So apparent.
Oh, by the way, we're broken up now. Let me just tell you.
It's like, it's Facebook official.
No big deal.
Facebook official.
Yeah, Facebook official.
I think that I would be flaunting to you, like, look, no ring. Hello.
Yeah. We are done. So, yeah. And then as far as Charlie is, I can't wait to see, obviously, what happened. It looked like a car accident. I don't know, maybe Charlie's dad was driving the vehicle and they crashed, something happened, and so he's taking the blame, but really it was just an accident. Who knows?
Maybe it was a custody thing. Because maybe his
I was
parents
about to say, like, we have never heard anything about his mom. Like,
No.
the tiniest little thing, but nothing about it, so maybe we'll get to see that too.
Yeah.
Maybe what happened is his dad not kidnapped him, but like, took him because he like loves him so much. So he was like, no, I'm going to take you away. You're going to live with me.
And then he gets in a car accident
yeah.
and then loses custody.
Yeah.
Woo, these are some good predictions.
I can't wait.
Okay, so if you are out there watching, make sure to tweet us your predictions. And if you have tweets for us, we'll tweet you back and everything. So let them know where they can find you on social media.
Well, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at _MichelleFee.
And you can find me on Twitter at Heather_Cruz.
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Heather Joy Smith. And thank you all for watching. We will see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.